G'day, I'm Eddie Springer from Springer Solar, and today we're going to discuss off-grid energy systems or standalone power systems. We're going to cover the various complexities around these systems, and we'll talk about partnering with the right installer. We'll also talk about the different system components that make up a quality off-grid system. So the main question that you need to ask yourself is, why would you want to go off-grid? And the biggest factor is cost of connection. That cost of connecting to that utility or that energy network, that energy provider, is far too expensive, and you look at alternative options. That grid connection is hundreds of meters away, sometimes, hundreds of kilometers away. So look at where the property is situated and determine what that connection cost is going to be. Off-grid systems are complex and expensive, and if the cost of connection to the grid is low, then you may look at just installing a solar and battery hybrid system rather than a full standalone property. Off-grid systems come with them various maintenance and system requirements, which will mean you will need to be very energy efficient in how you operate. Off-grid systems and the people that install it become a partnership, or even more like a marriage, where you are tied to that installer for the life of the system. The right installer will be able to provide remote access to your system, log in, provide service and maintenance as required over the life of that system. They are your energy provider, they are your electricity company, they are who you need to call if you lose power. So choosing that installer needs to be something you do very carefully. They need to be able to offer ongoing support and maintenance. They need to be, within a few hundred kilometers of you if you're going to be relying on them for future service and support. Off-grid systems do rely on ongoing service and maintenance, and choosing that installer is very important. The credentials of that installer are also important. Standalone power systems or off-grid systems require a different level of accreditation than a standard grid connect system, which is different again to general electrical work. Off-grid systems have a high-level component of design and installation that is different to day-to-day electrical and solar work. You need to ensure that your chosen installer has these required accreditations and is also experienced in installing systems of this nature. When we're designing a standalone power system or an off-grid system, what you need to do as a client is bring the installer an idea of the energy requirements for your property. Start to gather information about the appliances you're going to use, the different equipment you want to run to build yourself a load profile. If you're unsure how to do that, you can download various different spreadsheets and start plugging in all the different appliances, all those different things you want to use and how long you want to run them for each day. That will give you an idea of the daily kilowatt hour usage for your property. For every kilowatt hour of energy usage you have, you need to allow between $2,000 and $3,000. So a 10 kilowatt hour daily load, a very small cottage, small property, very well designed that's energy efficient, is going to cost between $20,000 and $30,000 to provide a standalone power system for that property. When we look at the system components, there's various components that contribute to an off-grid system. We have our solar array, we have our inverter system, we have our batteries, and we also have our backup generator. When you're designing that solar system and designing your property, obviously the solar system needs access to good available sunshine. If the property is going to be under a lot of tree cover or a lot of canopy, then we need to look at locations for a ground mount solar array. Or, as we do on a lot of our properties, we get our clients to design their shed, their machinery shed or their utility shed for the off-grid system, and then we're trenching power over to the residents for that property. The next step, or the next component of our system, is how do we capture that sunlight? So are we going to use an AC coupled system with an approved grid connect inverter, or are we going to use a DC coupled system where we're capturing the sunlight through a solar regulator? Both of these systems have their pluses and minuses, and your larger scale off-grid systems would incorporate both, some DC and some AC coupled. The most important and most integral part of our off-grid system is our batteries. We need to ensure that the batteries can handle the daily delivery of energy we require, and also have a buffer for times when we have inclement weather or we have larger than expected loads. These days, predominantly we're using lithium batteries, but conventional lead acid batteries still have their place. But if you're looking at installing and designing a decent off-grid system that will be trouble-free, you would be designing into that system an auto start generator. That generator will start on command or on parameters that we're programming into that system. You know, these off-grid systems are getting sophisticated enough now with remote monitoring that we can start that generator from anywhere in the world. But the set parameters for that generator will ensure you never lose power, and we're starting the generator on either high load commands or low battery commands. The generator is an integral part of the system. Although it may not be used often, it is there and is required for the days when we need it. Please like and subscribe our YouTube channel for various videos on all sorts of great topics associated with solar, off-grid solar and batteries.